I'm doing a live stream just a second here. Okay, everybody, good morning or good afternoon now. We're up here in southwest Minnesota waiting for things to get rocking here shortly. The winds are really picking up here. Basically, the surface low is back southwest here. They've got a moderate risk. The surface low is back in this area, or actually it's back in this area now, just near Yankton. And this bottom, this negative tilted line is coming up. So this area right here, it's gonna come, so start racing northeast. And as that happens, we've got many supercells and tornadoes going to break out high this afternoon. Let's go to SPC page real quick and let's look at their risk. I've got a bunch of stuff going on. We're already in a tornado watch, right? So this keeps. Let's go outside real quick. Don't know if the internet's going to hold. Anyway, this is looking to my north here. The clouds are wrapping back to the north in a band. That's the storms out to the northwest. That's in eastern South Dakota. That's got a dome now forming on it. That's the north-south line, and the winds here out of the east at about 35 to 40, and they're wrapping back to the northwest here. With domes, those are probably going to start tornadoing. That's that north-south line in eastern South Dakota. That line's going to start tornadoing. And then as we go to the east, this is the worst stream it in. We've got some big supercells off the east, about 40, 50 miles. They're racing northeast at 55 miles an hour. And then I've just got in the clearing line here. That's looking back southwest. I can see the cirrus now coming out of the amble debris coming out of northeast Nebraska. Those are not tornadic yet, but they've got rotation in. They're moving our way at 65 miles an hour. I'm now in the low to mid 70s here in southwest Minnesota. We're going to warm up to the upper 70s near 80. And you can look at the winds, look at the moisture here. I've got a wind here right now is about 120. I've got an east-southeast wind at 120 at 30 miles an hour. And I got extreme wind shear. So as that slope deepens, it's going to run about a millibar an hour. For the next 8 to 9 hours, as it deepens, it's going to run up. It's going to run up west of me here up toward Aberdeen, and the storm front that's approaching me from the south is gonna hyper jump north, and you're gonna have the warm front of north of me here with extreme tornadoes. The banding just in the last 5 minutes I've been outside. Look at we got bands now forming in southwest Minnesota. There's roll call bands now forming. We've got extreme wind shear rapidly developing now. You almost got horizontal vorticity, and these bands forming now, and all running to the northwest. So as he storms back south, come up in the next 2 hours, and they get this deep east wind. Then what's going to happen is they get this extreme wind shear, and then you get this horizontal rolling of the low level wind shear, and the storms come up over these deep east winds. This is where we're going to have long track violent tornadoes in southwest, west central Minnesota, northern Minnesota, and extreme east central South Dakota. So that's kind of the uptake right now of what's going on here. But the extreme tornado conditions are already underway. Temperatures are already in the low 70s to mid 70s now, warming rapidly, clear skies, and expect a tornado outbreak, especially across west central, starting in southwest Minnesota, and then on up into central Minnesota. Expect some long track damaging tornadoes this afternoon. A few could be very intense, possibly higher than EF3, might be in the EF4 range. So we're just waiting for things to get going here, and they're going to be moving northeast at about 55 to 60, and the biggest high is 70. So tornado warning comes out. We're already in tornado watch. This tornado warning starting to issue this afternoon. They're going to be moving a mile a minute faster, right? So they're going to cover long areas around really quickly. So that's it right now. Does anybody, hello, hi from Twin Cities? Yes, I appreciate that. So everybody appreciate that. So we're here with a group and do a little documentary chasing tornadoes. So we're out here with the storms and tornadoes develop. But I can tell you, just look at I can't express how strong the wind shear is across southwest Minnesota. It's extreme. There's the only way I can explain this. If you look at the horizontal roll clouds forming now, the low level moisture is very extreme now across southwest Minnesota. And the clouds are getting bigger, the storms are getting bigger and bigger in my northwest now. So I'd say about 1 more hour we should start seeing multiple tornado warnings. The storms northwest are getting bigger. It's heating up, and the wind shear is increasing. So the tornado outbreak should start about 1:30ish. 132, 230, somewhere in there, about 1:30, 2:30, we should have the tornado outbreak starting. Okay, that's it from southwest Minnesota. We'll give you some more updates later as conditions warm. As the clouds are ripping by me. They're over my head here. They're probably moving northwest at 50 miles an hour. Look at the wind, crazy. The rotation, the shear in the atmosphere today is just phenomenal. It's one of the best setups I've seen all spring. It's that crazy, right? So, and then you look at the grass and Thomas, what do you think is going on today? David.
I think it's exciting to see how quickly this is all developing.
Yeah. We've got a couple 360s. We've got so many cameras inside. I think we got 8 or 9 GoPros. Cameras here, 4K, 8K, 4K here. We got cameras in the back. So we're total rigged out with cameras here. And again, this is where we expect the tornado outbreak to start, kind of north of Sioux Falls, northeast of Sioux Falls, west central, and west of the Twin Cities in this area. And then as the afternoon goes on, obviously it'll get more intense the farther north we go, right? We'll have some look at the tornadoes as they go north up there, right, later today. So southwest Minnesota, west central Minnesota, Detroit Lakes areas, right in this general area, just east of Detroit Lakes, and then racing on up into central, northwest, and north central Minnesota. This is kind of the zone where we expect the most damaging tornadoes, right, and the most tornadoes. So that's kind of what it looks like. Let's go back to radar real quick. Let's just do a real quick update on that. See what I've got. MD, really the MDs, doesn't matter. Severe storms down south. Storms are 20, that's the storms just to my east. These are not bad up at Redwood. And then the arcing lane of storms back to my west, to my northwest. We can see those visually. And now, okay, this is the stuff we gotta watch for. It's starting to happen now. I'm getting little bitty cells out of Heather Line developing here and at Freeman, South Dakota. You see this little, it's not tornadic, but see how that little cell's going up. It's already got cyclonic shear with it. Means it's got, it's already got that kind of that cyclonic shear. Just zoom in on it here and we'll look at the storm. It's starting to lightning and it's starting to get that cyclonic. That's small, it's a very small Hawley sheared supercell and it's got that little bit of a notch. It's when I watch for storms like this developing, I start watching these little notches here on the southwest flank. Has just got the very early. It's not tornadic and it's not even severe, but when we start seeing storms develop like that ahead of the line, and the models forecast that's going to happen. So as this big energy ball wave, negatively tilted wave comes out of northeast Nebraska, the models say that not only is this going to start tornado on this line to my west, which I can see, as you're going to start having individual storms developing like this approximately, and you're going to start having tornadoes breaking out ahead of this line here, right? So that's what we're watching for, is these little cells pop up not far from us, and that cell again, these are moving northeast at about 65. So in 1 hour, that storm's going to be west of me, right? It's going to be rocketing, right? So they're going to be moving really fast to the northeast. But the tail end, what I'm really watching for is this back southeastern flank of that negative tilted line coming up. And I can tell you by the Sioux Falls radar, these storms back southwest here are rotating in northeast Nebraska. It's going to be rapidly coming up to Yankton and then eventually west of Yankton and probably Vermilion. These storms as they come negative tilted, this line comes up here. This whole area back in here, we're probably in the mid 70s now. The 70-degree line's like right here, 75 is about right where I'm at now, and then the 80 is going to be probably near and just northeast of Sioux Falls, right? And the surface winds are like this, and then they're like this, and then they're probably like that, right? And then as the line passes, they're going to be southwest gusting to 50 as this line passes. You got this extreme wind shear. So that's kind of the makeup right now. I think we're 1 o'clock now. I'm thinking probably 2:30ish. 2:30 to 5, that's when it's going to get really bad. Okay, that's it. Wrap up from southwest Minnesota. We'll give you more updates if we can later, but it's going to be pretty intense driving today, so we're going to be focused on that as the main priority. All right, everybody have a good day. Watch out for the tornado warnings later, and everybody be safe.